can see you. Or you can just unmute your mic. What is entrepreneurship in your understanding? Anyone can answer? Anyone can answer? What is entrepreneurship in your understanding? Okay, let me ask Maureen. Maureen, did you have I can hear some laughter, Maureen. What is your answer?
I'm here, Badele, thank you. Okay, for me, the way I understand entrepreneurship
Is when you see a need and you want to certify that need. Satisfy that need. Can you hear
Just
me?
say that again. I can't hear you. Maybe come closer to the phone.
Entrepreneurship is when you see a need for something and then you satisfy that need. And then you, in return, you get something. A service, you provide you services that you feel or see that they are needed, and then you get something.
Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else before we move on? Anyone else? You're allowed to talk. Okay, cool. So let's just move on so that we don't waste any time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So let us move on. Why then do artists need entrepreneurship? I think I've mentioned that, is that it helps us to make money. It helps us to expand our influence and our reach. And also it helps to develop certain career and projects, as well as it helps us to get in or diversify income streams. So that is by performances, exhibitions, commissions, and workshops. And now it's very interesting because when we talk about artists, artists always work in arts organizations. And I think what we're trying to really understand here is that artists are allowed to have their own businesses on the side. I know, especially with Kula Ungobe, Kusa, I know there are artists who have their own clothing design and have their own clothing brands, and other also art and craft. So that's very good. And that is very progressive. And that is what we're trying to empower and also to teach in this lesson. Arts organizations can use entrepreneurial approaches to ensure financial sustainability, engage communities and expand audiences, as well as innovate and adapt to changing cultural landscapes. It is also very important to understand and to encourage arts organizations to make their artists become entrepreneurs. So I just want to write that down. It is important for arts organizations such as yourself to encourage artists to be more independent. Yeah, and start their own and possibly start their own businesses. Now, this is very important, and I think most of the time, I think we've spoken about this quite a while in our previous meetings, but it is very important that in the skills employment program or even other programs, the solution or even the end goal is for artists to become much more dependent on themselves and to create their own employment. And that can only be done through entrepreneurship. Moving on now to the characteristics of entrepreneurial artists. So characteristics means what are some of the features that we can see or we can develop in ourselves as artists? So what is this, what are the values and the norms and the behaviors that we need to start adopting if you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to run your own business as an artist one day? The first one is obviously creativity and innovation. Now, the ability to think outside the box and constantly innovate is a huge asset in entrepreneurship. By using your skills to find new ways to reach audiences or market your work. I'm going to be going very quickly, but I hope that you are taking notes. I'm doing this because our Zoom is only for 40 minutes. Now, in terms of creativity, the question here would be, how are you using your creative skills in your organization? So for example, you could say, I am using my skills, my sewing skills, to make new clothing, which I sell to organizations and to the public. So that is one example. I'm sure you can write as many examples just down below. Number two, actually, let me write these down as number one. Okay, here we go. And when we go to another behavior or an element of an entrepreneurial artist is risk taking. Now, risk taking is about taking calculated risks. In the arts, this could mean experimenting with new artistic forms, entering new markets, or launching unconventional projects. Again, I'm going to be asking you the same question. What risk-taking initiative can you think of? I'm going to give you another 2 minutes, and I'm going to be actually calling names because I see people do not want to speak up. So 2 minutes, I want you to try and think of what is that risk-taking initiative that you could do that would actually bring up a new artistic form or a new project. What is that new project that you think you could actually do in your community? I'm giving you 2 more minutes. What is that new initiative that you could come up with that is going to be very essential to creating entrepreneurship and work?
Hi. Can I talk? Okay, this is
Okay, almost there.
Hi, can you hear me, Kwanele?
I can hear you. Yes, you can talk.
Oh, thank you. Um, I think i-risk engicabanga ukuyithatha next is to
Yeah.
come up with i-project yokuthi ngenzela abantwana ama-school projects and then their parents pay, but not just ukuthi ngibenzele, also involve them whilst making the art projects for school. Not a big business plan, but it still brings money.
Okay, so just explain to me, are you saying, Guti, the children are going to be doing art with you in the school?
No, school projects. You know when they give children school projects at school, come to better you make something from space or a space rocket or whatever
Mm,
project they have. So I'm planning to assist them in making those projects come to life. And risking ukuthi I don't know ukuthi bazoza or ngeke.
mm.
Yeah. But it's something that I'm willing to give it a try and see how far it'll take me.
Okay, if the school would allow. Good. Thank you so much. That is an excellent risk. And I think you should go ahead and do it. Really
I,
do take the risk because most of the time, if we understand how this works and how life works, is that life works through risks, through taking risks, and you would never know up until you try. Excellent. And let us move on to resilience and adaptability. So artists often face rejection or slow process. Persistence is key in entrepreneurship. A very short story is, even in my starting out, a short story would be when I was also in university, I always wanted to do fashion and do fashion shows. So when I started out with a lot of rejection and a lot of people saying to me, "No, you really can't be doing fashion in university. It doesn't make any sense." And because I'm very stubborn and I'm that person who actually took a chance and took a risk. And I pushed and I said I really wanted to do a fashion show. So years later, more than 10 years later, now I'm into fashion. I'm doing my own fashion line. I'm exporting, I'm importing, not just in South Africa, but also international countries. So as an artist, it's very important for you to take the risk and also to be resilient and adapt. So here I'm going to, for you, I think I'm going to write down, create a short story, a short story about how you can take risks, stay resilient, and adapt in an ever-changing market. So that will be just for you to create and to work with. Um, and we don't have to answer that now. I will leave it here and I'll just create, yeah, and take risks. Okay, here we go. Let's move on and to vision and goal setting. So, with artists being entrepreneurs, you have to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve as an artist or an organization, and this will guide your entrepreneurial decisions. For this, I'm going to be giving you a task to each and every person here in the call. The task would be um, in the next, your task is, okay, Your task is to plan a clear and have a clear, sorry, and have a clear vision of what you want to achieve in 2025. So your task for this lesson for today is your task is to plan and have a clear vision of what you want to achieve in 2025. Now, in order for you to do that, you've got to go, maybe I can give you a starting point. I would say my goals for 2025 are as follows, and I need you to write these down. I need you to write these down and also have them for you. So you don't have to present them. You can just have them for you. And these are the kind of goals that you're going to be inspired by. So my goals, for example, would be to eat healthier, maybe to eat healthier or make healthier eating choices. I would like to make more money by working in different projects, to create a company, for example. So these would be my kind of goals. And obviously, you can go on and on and on and talk about your goals for 2025. And I really do encourage you to do this method because it has assisted me in the past, and I know that it will assist you too. This is very important. Okay, any questions before we move on? You can unmute yourself. Any questions? Okay, no question. All right, so let us move on now into monetizing your art. So what does monetizing mean? Anyone? What does monetizing mean? What does it mean to monetize? Piwe, I see Piwe Mlambo. Maybe Tato, do you have an answer? I don't know if you are there. What does it mean to monetize your art? What does that mean?
It means it's a certain. It means to make your art bring you money, or to like uh, make it have a value that is equivalent to money.
Okay, monetizing means making money from your art.
Mm,
Okay, for example, by selling,
yes,
by making orders, by
or
exporting, yeah,
or giving workshops
giving workshops,
and
etc.
technique. Yeah.
Good, excellent. We're doing well. And so when it comes to multiple streams of income, this is where we are at, especially since, we've really understood that the most successful organizations are the organizations that have multiple streams of income. And that means organizations are not just relying on one funder, but are relying on other ways to make an income. That is what makes them successful. And that is what makes them go on and on for many, many years. The first one obviously would be direct sales, selling original art, prints, or commissions. I want to add here that you can also, so arts organizations can also start selling their theater or dance productions. How do you think that could happen? How do you think artists or arts organizations can sell their dance productions? Okay, so maybe, for example, let's put an example. Yeah, you want to say? You can speak up.
Oh, for Ama dance productions, I think another way SA such as Samandi would be selling it as an NFT. I'm not sure if you are aware of NFTs, but it's a
Yes.
platform where
Um,
you sell your art corner and you get indefinite license. So whenever someone uses it, you get something out of it.
Correct. That's very important. NFTs are very important. You can also put NFTs for your artwork, for your art paintings, your prints, your t-shirts. You can actually have and use the online markets for that, where international people can see your work. I think also maybe um, approaching, um, let's say, approaching musicians to buy your dance your dance piece for music videos. So for example, if an artist says, "Hey, I want to do a music video," you could then say, okay, I can sell you a dance piece. It's already choreographed and you can use it for the music video. So so you can be a business like that, where you are approaching and you are identifying different musicians, different organizations like EPSA, where you go and say, I have a clip. I have a dance clip. I would like to play the dance clip in the elevator or use or use this dance production in a workshop or a conference or a team building. So you can go into in these different industries by using your skills, but packaging it as a product. Okay, let's move on because of time. Exhibitions and performances, earning from ticket sales or performance fees. Actually, there are organizations that are doing that now, especially in Alexandra. Alex Arts Academy, they've just created their own theater. And it wasn't just them building a theater. They used a hall, and the hall they just had to buy black curtains, and they bought black plastic, and they covered all of the windows so it looks like an auditorium. They got some chairs, and now people think, and they come in as a they come in to see theater. So they are charging people every Friday to come and watch theater. They have their shows on web tickets, on quick tickets, and it's very simple. It was very simple. They didn't have to build a huge theater. They just use somebody's hall, and now people are watching theater. That's how they're making their extra income. As you said, to workshops and teaching, offering classes or workshops in your area, grants and residencies. If you type in, I think we've done this before. If you type in on Google or on what's this other one, Firefox, you can find out which organizations are giving funding and giving grants for artists and also arts organizations, crowdfunding and donations, also Back a Buddy, Back a Buddy is a very good South African um, kind of portal or crowdfunding portal. Merchandising, which is selling branded products such as t-shirts and mugs or digital content, and you can make a lot of money from that, especially since you, as a team, you have different skills. So you can start making. Obviously, you're going to lose money when you start creating these t-shirts, but I won't lie. If you do it correctly and you have a very good business strategy, you will be able to make that money back, even double. Digital platforms such as Behance, where you can create your own website, social media marketing, which is all about increasing visibility. Okay.
Oh, can I ask? Sorry, can I
Yes,
ask a question
you can
about
ask.
the
Yeah.
events? Is it an app or a portal?
It's an app. It's a app website. It's a website. It's
Oh,
it's it's not an app. So if you just type in Behance on your Google, it's going to give you a link, and then it's going to go further and further, and you were able to build your own website. I normally
okay.
use Wix
Oh,
Wixsite. Wixsite is a very easy. These three are actually very easy to use if you want to create your own website.
okay. Do you
Uh,
still need to pay for the host?
no, no, it's
Oh,
free.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, before we go, I just want to talk about your personal brand versus how to build your brand. Now, a personal brand is your unique identity as an artist. It includes your style, the message behind your art, and how you present yourself to the world. By building your brand, you need to always stay consistent. That means consistent means you have to do it over and over and over and over again. So having a consistent visual style and message across all platforms. So if you are that brand that uses red all the time, you've got to always use red in your marketing, in your presentation, in everything you do all the time. And that is what makes people differentiate you and then know that the red color is associated with your brand. Storytelling, sharing your personal story and your values and the meanings behind your work. It's all about connecting with your audience. Your audience is uhlezi ifuna the relative or the story behind what you are doing and why you are doing it. And that is what makes people become and stay loyal to your brand. Lastly, networking is all about building connections within the arts community and with potential patrons. So once you have started your own organization, now you need to link up with people who are doing the same thing that you are doing, or you need to link up with other organizations that you would like to build a business relationship with. And the last one for today is on social media strategy. How do you use your social media to engage your followers by sharing your process, your upcoming events, and the behind the scenes content? We've noticed, I've noticed, especially using social media, that I'm only engaging with followers once they are able to see me behind the work. So, what does it look like when you are doing the photo shoots, the behind the scenes? What does it look like if Ona Gibela? What does Kwanele do in that situation? And then people become much more loyal and also engaged into your product. So once they see you right on top, they know how he made it up there, how she made it to the top. And you always have people becoming loyal to you. Think of McDonald's, think of Coca-Cola, think of Red Bull. We've seen all of these adverts since you were a child. Vaseline, for example, even till now, till this day, I don't know how many years, but you're still using Vaseline. It's because of the story that you had seen when you were still a young child. So a brand will only be successful if they remain consistent, if they know what the story is and they connect with their audience. Are there any questions before we stop?
No.
Any questions?
Um, I actually do have a question. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's related, but in terms
yeah,
of consistency, do you by
yeah.
any chance have a strategy that I can use to keep myself consistent because it's a challenge and it's really challenging and I am being challenged.
So I think
I,
the first, yeah.
I was earlier on, I would say I'm failing to keep up with everything. I'm
Mm.
struggling, struggling.
I think I'm going to answer your question in two ways. The first one is maybe you could have maybe more short-term goals. So I think most of the time, what happens to us as entrepreneurs is that we look at the big picture and then we see, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And you end up being demotivated because you haven't achieved this big idea, this big vision. But if you
Yeah.
can start with a short-term goal for the next 3 days, what is it that I want to do in the next 3 days as Usisetu or as Upiwe? What is it as an artist? What is the thing that I want to achieve in the next 3 hours or in the next day? What is my day-to-day tasks? So wake up in the morning and create your to-do list. Your to-do list will always guide you to then towards that bigger picture. The second thing, maybe to close off, is that maybe um, in terms of consistency, you've got to have people next to you. It's very difficult to work in isolation. So if you are able to get people that can motivate you or can be in your group, maybe you can share skills and maybe you can share tasks. And then this is going to motivate you when you see somebody actually being more confident. And that person can also encourage you to achieve your goals, making you consistent. Okay, and so I hope that answers your question. We don't have a lot of time. I will do this class again next week. I will be speaking to your team leaders, but thank you so much for joining, and you will get all of the information after this. Thank you so much, and good.